All right, good evening, everybody. It's Saturday, March 9th of 2024. Today's the last day of standard time. So we haven't done one of these in a little bit. I'm trying to see here, actually, when was the last one we did one? On January 25th. Okay, so we're definitely overdue for one of these streams. So happy Saturday, everybody. Once again, hopefully we'll get some people that will go ahead and join our little stream, but obviously for obvious reasons, we're going to give people a couple of minutes here to go ahead and join tonight's live stream. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right. There we go. Okay. Wow. I haven't done one of these in a while. So it is good to do one of these again. We haven't done one of these in a while. Hello. How are you? So we'll give people just a few moments to join here, and then we'll get started with tonight's discussion. Rio Grande Kmart. Let's see. Cape Square Entertainment. That's what replaced the former Kmart in Rio Grande. There's no more Kmarts in New Jersey as of 2023. The last one closed last year in Westwood, and then the Sears actually just shut down about a few days ago in Jersey City. They're already hard on work on the Dick's Sporting Goods on the upper level. So we're actually going to go ahead and talk about that in this stream. I'm going to try and get the property up because I want to show you guys some of the renderings of what the Sears in Newport is, so everybody can have an understanding of what's going on with the space. I gave a video about it a few days ago, but I think we need to have a more type of breakdown. I'm trying to see here. What did I talk about? Oh, I don't mean for that to play. Let's see here. Should have it in one of my old videos. I'm trying to figure that out. Let's see here. Okay. I need the .pdf file. Okay. All right. So I think we need to do a little bit of a refresher on Newport Center because I think we need to give a little bit of a better perspective, and I didn't really explain it in this video well. By the way, it is unfortunately raining, so we'll go ahead and share this screen over here. Click this for a second and click that. So you guys right now are taking a look at the PDF. So this is the current spot in the mall. Obviously, the store is closed as of 2024. So here's kind of an idea of what the subdivision is going to look like. So tenancy, as per SimonPropertyGroup.com, we can confirm that tenant letter C is expected to be the Dick's Sporting Goods store. And Dave & Buster's is either going to be tenant A or tenant B. It's very likely that they'll probably be tenant B, or maybe, I don't know. Or no, I'm sorry. Tenant B will probably be Primark, and then tenant A over here will be Dave & Buster's. So it'll be Dave & Buster's here, Primark over here, and then Dick's Sporting Goods on the upper level. So they're going to really try and subdivide the building. Primark will want that mall entrance, and I just feel like it's not the right spot for Dave & Buster's. So they won't do that. And then obviously Dick's is going to have a dedicated entrance here, and Dick's Sporting Goods is going up on the upper level. Even if right now you take a look at the Newport Center Mall directory, you will see that Dick's will be on the upper level. And actually they're expected to install a brand new elevator to accommodate the new Dick's Sporting Goods. I think given the geography of the mall, I would expect the Dick's Sporting Goods entrance to be next to the parking deck, which wouldn't come as a surprise. You can see here they already have the spot for the new elevator that's expected to be put in here. So it's very likely going to be a Schindler, because obviously Dick's uses Schindler, but if the mall's using it, I don't know, but it's probably going to be a Schindler. So like I said, tenant B, which is connected to the mall, is going to be Primark, and then tenant A is expected to be the Dave and Buster's thing. It really just gives a thorough analysis. And then as for tenant D, I know that's going to be small. At the very least, potentially a CVS or probably something like a convenience store. They can't really do a whole lot with this space. But my best guess is they'll do something like small. They won't do anything big. But tenant B will definitely be Primark, and then tenant A will be Dave and Buster's, and then tenant C obviously is going to be Dick's Sporting Goods. So Dick's Sporting Goods, Primark, and Dave and Buster's, and that whole spot of the mall is pretty much filled. And it doesn't come as a surprise. There'll be no more presence of Sears in New Jersey, and Sears in New Jersey is no more. The only resemblance of Transform Co. left in the greater New York City area is now the Kmart in Bridgehampton, and that obviously is still open due to leasing obligations. So that is pretty much it for that explanation. So yeah, I went to Westwood too. Yeah, I know. From what I'm hearing in terms of Macy's, locations will be getting announced in May. The stores were already informed, but obviously because a lot of those employees signed the NDA agreements, they're not physically. So here's how it works. When you go to work for a retailer, you have to sign an NDA agreement because, you represent the company. There's certain things you can't say to the media. So that's why we haven't heard any store closings, because let's say hypothetically someone were to go to the media right now and leak a store closing and they gave their name and everything. Well, someone in human resources at that particular Macy's store could take a look and say, uh-oh, this guy leaked to the media. We got to terminate his employment. So that's why they can't leak anything right now, because if they leak a store closing, they could lose their job. I mean, they have to do what they have to do to protect the company. And I think, that's they have to do the policy. But I mean, at the end of the day, it does really suck. And I was reading something online too. I mean, that's got to be really depressing. And imagine walking into a store and then you have thousands of customers coming in. Is your store going to close? When is your store going to? I mean, it is annoying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the perfect at that too, but it really sucks for the Macy's employees. I mean, 150 stores, and then and then you're told, and then so think about it. When you're then told about the store closing, you can't even disclose it because your job is on the line. I mean, how sad is that? I mean, either way, you're going to lose your job, whether or not you expose it early. I don't know. The whole thing is not great, unfortunately, with Macy's. It certainly doesn't help with the whole CEO change, and yeah, there's just a lot going on there now. There was a whole organizational change, so we'll see what happens with them. But I think Macy's personally is going to be okay. I think if they innovate early and they don't milk on the real estate quickly enough, I think they're going to be okay as a retailer. Let's just hope they don't take the Sears approach, because that would really suck. But I think they're going to be okay. I think they will be okay. Yeah, I heard about Italy, and Italy is supposed to be that in the first floor. They're already starting construction, and it's funny you bring that up. I finally made it back to the mall at Short Hills, and boy, it really is my favorite mall in the state. I mean, there is no other mall like it in New Jersey. I mean, it's just, and this is from somebody who's been. I mean, not that I haven't been to South Jersey yet. I will get there eventually, but from every mall I've seen in the state, that there is no place like the mall at Short Hills. I mean, the experience there is it is very unique. And I get it with this whole American dream thing. They're trying to cater to a younger demographic with all these like 21st century things and all these celebrities and stuff. See, that's what I like about. Hey, let me put this. Let me phrase it this way. What I like about Short Hills is Short Hills is a very established mall. There's a lot of old money there. There's great retailers there. There's great full-line department stores. There's a great assortment of restaurants. I mean, I'm a little biased with the elevator maintenance, but yeah, Taubman does a pretty good job maintaining their elevators, with maybe one exception of a parking deck going every out now and then. But other than that, the mall's pretty good. Now, Livingston, the poster child of Short Hills, that didn't exactly look good when I went. And the Macy's, I mean, the elevator inside the Macy's, which you guys will see in a couple of days, it was definitely showing signs of they're going to definitely close that store at some point. It's really sad too, because that's a special store in terms of, I don't know, for reasons being. But aside from that, it was very sad to see that store in the shape, and seeing the mall too was not in great shape. Even the glass elevator was broken. I mean, maybe I caught it on an off day, But I mean, the condition of that mall is not looking good, especially the closing of Sears definitely didn't help, but the closing of Lord and Taylor made the situation 100 times worse. And not only did it make the situation 100 times worse, I mean, Hudson's Bay is a really god awful retail company, didn't help either. But it pretty much it literally forced Simon's hand to sell the mall. But obviously, Simon was good to walk away from it because what they're getting out of selling that mall is eventually they're going to get Short Hills. And I know, unfortunately, the long-term plan for Short Hills is they're going to wipe out any Taubman memories in the next couple of years, and that'll be the end. But my hope is that Simon Property Group will actually make Short Hills similar to what King of Prussia is, and maybe you throw in a little bit of Riverside, and I think we could be okay. But that's going to be one heck of an undertaking to renovate that mall. But I will say it definitely could use a bit of an update. But it's still a very modern mall, and I still think, despite it being dated, like despite it having the 80s the 80s corridor, it's still a kick-ass mall. Like, it's still a thriving Taubman property, and it's probably it is most likely their best one in the Northeast, with West Farms in Waterford, Connecticut being number 2. That's how good that mall is, and that's why I like going there very frequently, or often as I can, at least. But yeah, as for Italy, yes, they are opening up at the mall at Short Hills. So, but yeah, I got to see everything there. I still can't believe Saks closed. I mean, and Hudson's Bay once again making another very dumb decision. I mean, think about it. Name me one other tenant, one other store. What has one other store closed in that mall in favor of American Dream? Certainly wasn't Macy's. Certainly wasn't Bloomingdale's. Certainly wasn't Nordstrom. And it certainly wasn't any of the other tenants. And mind you, some of the luxury tenants that they have there, they also have an American Dream. So did any of those tenants close at Short Hills? No. But did Saks Fifth Avenue close at the mall at Short Hills in favor of American Dream? Yes. Because, they thought it was a genius idea to leave. And mind you, them leaving that spot was a mistake. They literally could have kept that store completely the way it was and still kept American Dream. And I'm already hearing that the move to American Dream wasn't such a great idea. I'm hearing there is something in the pipeline that they wanted to go and do a full line store in Paramus. Like, see, that's the problem. I mean, I get it. The Hackensack one, Saks had to close. That was a dump, and it needed to close. 100%. I agree with that decision. But the fact that they poured all these resources, all this money, and then all of a sudden to say that it's not performing to our expectations. The other challenge is at American Dream, you have to pay $5 for parking. $5 for parking. That's why I don't go for it. I mean, and you have to watch your time in there. You get the first half an hour free. If you go beyond a half an hour, you got to pay $5 for parking. Newport was like only $4. It was $1 less. I mean, not that a dollar makes a difference in today's economy, but the point being, $5 to park in a mall that's, crowds. And I get it. They're trying to get people in there. See, and this is from what I've seen in terms of my type of, type of thinking here. The challenge with American Dream is, look, it's a great way for celebrities to go see stuff. That's what I think the mall's great for. It's great attracting celebrities, Mr. Beast, Marcus Live. I get it. The celebrity and the celebrity influence, especially in the 21st century, absolutely that is the direction to go in. But I think the mall has definitely cut corners, and it even comes with building maintenance. Choosing Kone as your main elevator contractor is definitely not a good start, especially when some of them don't run that great. The Fujitechs run beautiful. Those things from 2006, when the Mills installed them, those are probably the best mall elevators. Thank God 555 kept them. They had Kones, there'd be problems left and right. But it's, at least there's only a few Kones. I mean, excluding, obviously. I mean, there's a couple freights, and there's, a few more others as well. But in terms of American Dream, it's, I mean, the center gets the job. I mean, I guess the center gets the job done. You're really only going there for the entertainment and maybe a restaurant or two. You're not really going there to shop. You're definitely going there for the theme park and the water park. I will say 555 definitely has that down, and I was quite impressed with their water park. That's where they don't cut corners. But other things, they could work on that too. But I guess, two equalizers, obviously they're not gonna, they're gonna try and pick the cheapest thing to save money. But whatever. The point being, I do wish American Dream did a little bit more. I still think it's a decent mall for what it is, but $5 to park is, it's a little much. There are so many other malls in New Jersey where you don't have to pay $5 to park, but the incentive is they get all these celebrities. So, like I was saying before, remember the whole thing with Mr. Beast and Mr. Beast opening up the burger chain, and then he was packing the floors. So they did that as a publicity stunt. Meaning, with the publicity stunt of Mr. Beast, it got a lot more people into the center, but they're still not breaking even. So they have to call out another celebrity. Get Marcus Live to build a restaurant there. He has an influence. His followers will go there. So that's really what that mall strategy is. I think it's a great strategy. Don't get me wrong, but is it something that works for me? No, definitely not. It's definitely not my cup of tea. But, I'm not the average general public. So I don't fit into that category. And that's okay. That's okay with me. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on American Dream and Short Hills. And Hudson's been making the stupid decision to leave Short Hills for American Dream. I mean, you got to scratch your head and think, what person made that decision? Clearly somebody that does not live near New Jersey and has not gone out and seen other stuff too. So but yeah, let's get to some other questions here. And I'm probably going to get off pretty soon because Texas Elevators brings up a good point. It is daylight savings. So daylight savings is a time where we spring ahead an extra hour and we lose an hour of sleep. So if I get to sleep an hour before I usually go to sleep, I'll be okay with the time, but I'll still have to set an alarm because that the hour is gonna really gonna throw me off because instead of it going from 1, it's gonna go to 3 o'clock tonight. The good news is the sun will be out till about 6:57, which seriously I'm looking forward to the longer days of the year because those are always nice and the weather gets warmer and that's what I love about this time of the year. This is the last standard time until November, till around the holidays. So it's crazy though. Christmas is pretty much long gone at this point. So, yeah, pretty Manahalpin or Manalepin, Manalapan. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Yeah, they're probably doing that to make up for Freehold, and then I'm sure some former Nordstrom workers that were at Freehold, they're probably going to try and apply for a job at Nordstrom Rack. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, they probably just did a cab refurbished. They haven't done an elevator modernization yet, which is surprising. But my guess is Westinghouse, because Westinghouse merged with Schindler. Schindler is still providing parts. So until that thing craps the bed, which I'm sure is going to be any day now, then Macy's will go in there and do a whole Schindler mod. But it hasn't gotten it yet. But it probably will eventually get one down the road. Doing very well, Adam. No, Macy's is not closing in Paramus Park, at least not yet. That store is going to still be around for just a little bit longer. I think if Macy's is going to, like I said, if Macy's is closing any stores in the state, it's going to be Livingston, Hamilton Mall, and Brunswick Square. Those are the ones that are going to close. I mean, there's maybe Woodbridge and maybe you throw Woodbridge and Paramus Park in there in the second tier, but in the first tier would definitely be those three for sure. Kohl's, it's funny. I was in a Kohl's store just over a week ago, tried to return something. It wasn't even mine. But Kohl's had some big empty chunks of the store when I was there on Sunday. I go to the one in Secaucus at the plaza at Harmon Meadow, which used to be the Mill Creek Mall, where Kohl's was one anchor on one end and then Stop and Shop was an anchor on the other end. I mean, it's since been they've since added on different tenants. Like they got Ashley Furniture Store, Best Buy. What was the other one they got in there? TJ Maxx, Burlington, and Bob's Discount Furniture, which actually even has a warehouse too. No, Macy's Sunrise isn't closing. Really? Taco Bell closed? Could that be? I think Taco Bell in Paramus is still open. But maybe they finally, maybe the rent was too high. That could have been it. Sometimes that happens. Yeah, I guess they closed. Probably the rent. That Westfield was probably charging them an astronomical amount of rent, and same thing with KFC. They probably wanted them out too. It's a shame, but yeah, I mean, if you're a low traffic tenant, you can't afford to pay the rent. But somebody like Chick-fil-A, oh yeah, they'll be there for a long time. They're not going anywhere. Greenleaf's I'm surprised about too. I don't think Manhattan. No, that's a really good Macy's. I'd be shocked if Manhasset closed. That like Short Hills, there's a lot of old money there. Oh, yeah, but I'm sure they're not utilizing the elevator. So Lowe's, Lowe's and Home Depot are kind of the same. I think Lowe's is a little bit more on the pricier side. Home Depot is definitely the more affordable one, at least from what I know, because Home Depot has I feel like Home Depot has more locations, and Home Depot is definitely the more affordable version of Lowe's. I think Lowe's is just a little bit more expensive, um, because Home Depot is like the standard like hardware, big box hardware store. I don't necessarily think Lowe's is you know, they're not in a lot of places. They're very limited with their locations. But Home Depot's not bad. Just thinking, when was the last time I probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago? It's probably the last time I was in a Home Depot. Yeah, I like Home Depot. I think they're just better. I think that their prices are definitely better, at least from what I know. I mean, I'm not a frequent Lowe's person, but I think Home Depot definitely has better prices, sometimes better quality, although sometimes the other one's slightly better, but not by much. But oh wow, yeah, I guess Popeyes is probably going in the one of those old Taco Bells and KFC. Probably Popeyes was able to sign on or something. Who knows? And then that forced Yum Brands to close there. I would say in March they're probably going to close. I got to try and do these streams more often, guys. I just but yeah, most of it is made in China. Yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of our stuff is made in good old China. So it's like everything here. Like I don't even know. Can I even show something here? Let me see. You think there's you would think I would have something on my desk on there that's made from China. I'm trying to see if I can even find something. Um you know what? I have this Xbox controller here. Usually it says made in China. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, everything's made in China. Yeah. This is my Xbox controller. You can see see right there. Made in China. This is a really good camera, by the way. I am so happy that I got a new laptop. I am loving this 1080p camera. Thank God Apple finally updated laptops. But yeah, made in China. A lot of stuff's made in China, including this Xbox controller. Movie theaters, they're doing okay. Yeah, I guess they're trying to line it up with the rest of their Saks stores, so that makes sense. Oh, look at this Bloomberg Business. Price of gold climbs to a new high record. I like Bloomberg Business. They're very good actually. What killed the Apple car? Apple car went away. Yeah, interesting stuff you could see on Bloomberg Business. That's for sure. No, I don't think Eatontown's closing. I don't think Macy's Manhasset is closing. Unless someone said something, I don't think it's gonna close. I'd be shocked if they closed that store. Because that was a beautiful Macy's when I went a few years ago. Yeah, I'd actually be shocked if they closed that one. They should be closed. They should really be closing Sunrise. I don't know, actually. That's a weird one. And I was at Palisades about 2 months ago, too. No, it's going to be Livingston over Short Hills. Livingston's going to close because they're the last anchor tenant in there, but Mall at Short Hills, Macy's, no. You got Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Neiman Marcus, and Nordstrom. They will definitely not close Short Hills. They're going to close. They're going to close Livingston. That's a given. That's like they're closing Macy's Livingston, Macy's Brunswick Square, potentially Woodbridge, and then Macy's and Mays Landing, because I hate to say it, but it's a 3-level Macy's in the middle of nowhere. Not saying it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's pretty far to say from Atlantic City. It's pretty far away. Yeah, I just don't necessarily know if it's worth the trip to go out there. But yeah, Brunswick Square is definitely somewhere I want to get back to because those elevators are really interesting. So that's definitely somewhere I want to get back to for sure. I mean, let's see what happens first with the stores getting announced. I don't want to make any trips or anything until they say that, hey, these are the stores that we're closing. Let's wait. Unless there was an article, but I don't see anything about Macy's Manhasset closing. So I don't think it's closing. Plus, that's a top performing Macy's. They would be dumb to close that store. They'd be very dumb to close that store. The only way I could see that store closing is if they sell off the property and they want to do redevelopment there. But they would be dumb to close Manhasset, especially with all the upscale retail in that area. That's a dumb move. That's like Macy's closing Roosevelt Field. I don't think Macy's would necessarily cut their losses with, at least not yet with Manhasset. No more Sears in New Jersey. That's right. Oh, new food concepts. I wonder if they're going to take some notes from Sam's Club or Costco, despite Walmart owning Sam's. Yeah, I know. The closest Sears now is Braintree or down in Florida. looks like I may have to get on a plane to go see Sears, or obviously drive up to Massachusetts. A couple Rite Aids are expected to shut down. What else is closing? I think that's it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything crazy on SB360. I think the J.C. Penney's though are expected to wrap up liquidation pretty soon. They should be wrapping up liquidation within the next couple of days ish. Yeah. So I already know that Burger King on Route 23. I remember that one. Yeah, they have enough of them in Wayne already. They don't need they don't need any more Burger Kings there. So yeah, and the J.C. Penney actually, believe it or not, is closing tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day in the old location. They're going to close that one for a few days, and then March 15th, which is March 15th is next Friday. The new Wayne location is expected to open up on Sunday. Or no, I'm sorry, Friday. Friday, rather. Sorry. I'm getting all my days mixed up. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I didn't go back to Monmouth because I was there in 22. No reason for me to race back there. Plus, by then, it was the whole mall was going down. So I'm happy I got what I got when I got it. Yeah, but just because workers talk to each other, that doesn't mean a whole lot. See, the challenge is we can. Yeah, I know that's what makes this hard. The workers can talk all they want during work, but the problem is they can't take that information outside of work. The other thing is they could have said, you know, we were told that we might close, but there's nothing definite, or they can't talk about it outside the working place because they could lose their job. So you could be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. And if two workers did talk about it and said that Macy's was closing, you could be right about that. But until someone like an employee says to a local TV station that they're closing, yeah. I mean, that's probably honestly too when I'll do Americana Manhasset whenever they announce that one. So what's it? Probably not so great customer service and features that are not up to date with the 21st century. Anything going on at Bergen Town Center? Nothing at the moment. There's nothing crazy. I mean, other than they're building some new medical office space, there's really nothing crazy going on there. But I'll tell you, that parking deck, man, talk about a mall that makes really good profits. You would think an outlet mall that does phenomenal. Like, it's disgusting how well that mall does. You would think that elevator quality maintenance would be on the top agenda, but no. Yeah. The problem with that was what the hell was I going to say? Yeah, so Excel came in and they put these really cheap monitor TR and they kept some of the motors the same. They really cut corners with that mod. I mean, I'm glad they put two new elevators in. It was definitely necessary, and it's definitely going to be a boost when the next holiday season comes around for sure. But just not looking good otherwise. So the rest of the former Pathmark on Rusev, yeah, I'm not surprised. Do we know what Asian grocery market that's going to be? I knew it was going to be some sort of Asian grocery market. It's probably not going to be an H Mart, given that they already have a store in Little Ferry. I don't know what other chain does H Mart. Oh, and then you have the H Mart in Paramus on Route 17, so they definitely can't do that unless H Mart is looking to leave Paramus. Then that's a different conversation. So, yeah, they did. They moved to the former Pathmark, and then they opened up another shop right in Elmwood Park where the Kmart used to be. The only two-level Kmart in Bergen County. The other two-level one being in Westwood. Yeah, I already explained it before, but I'll show you again of what we're looking at here. Let's go to share screen. So we take a look at the shared screen here. We got Dick's Sporting Goods on the upper level, Primark here, we're near the mall entrance, and then Dave & Buster's here as well. I'm probably going to have to make a video about this because I think a lot of people are very confused by the whole subdivision thing, and I think I got to make it a little bit more clear. So eventually, yes, I'm probably going to put out some sort of video, but that's what's going on here. We got Primark here on the lower level. We got Dave & Buster's here, and then right here is going to be the Dick's Sporting Goods, which is going to have its own dedicated entrance right next to the parking deck, which they're probably going to put a whole curbside pickup area, which in terms of the space, it just makes sense. And they'll probably use the existing freight elevator from Sears. I'm sure the demolition's probably going to start soon. It was nice to walk through Monmouth Mall. It's a good thing. Hey, believe me, I'm glad I got to see the property once before it went down. And thank God I went when JCPenney was crapping the bed. That was probably the best time to go. Yeah, I missed out on Modell's. Yeah, I missed out on Lord & Taylor, but I still got to see 80% of it. So personally, I'm happy about that. So, oh, okay. Yeah, Rite Aid. Oh, Rite Aid. I'm so glad you brought this up. So, Rite Aid. This is definitely a conversation I want to have with you guys because there's some really interesting developments going on at Rite Aid that I think is going to get the whole stream going. No, they're not going to go to Paramus Park. I think Primark will definitely get a store in Paramus. There's no doubt about that. But I think they're probably going to try and get something in Garden State, the Westfield Garden State. Their rents are astronomical, and Primark putting in a 2-level store. Honestly, they'll probably go in the Lord & Taylor store. I think that's what's going to happen. Well, yeah, because then at that point, if the buyout is successful, then it's going to be like Sears. They're going to milk on the real estate of the buildings. Oh, G-Mart. Okay. G-Mart. That's the one. So I guess G-Mart is trying to compete with H-Mart. They really can't get creative with these more things. I mean, I don't know anything about Asian American marketing, but they really should get more creative with the names. But maybe those names mean something different in Asian in the Asian language that I don't even know. So I guess because there was no more tenant there, so probably it wasn't open to the public anymore. Oh, that's good. Sushi bar. That's definitely that'll definitely be a draw for the mall for sure. Schindler, that's definitely going to be a Schindler, especially if Dick's is going in there. No doubt that we're going to see a 330A there. Dick's has an exclusive contract with Schindler. We're definitely getting a Schindler. We're definitely getting another 330A. Unfortunately, but all Schindlers, every anchor store has some form of Schindler, even if JCPenney has a Westinghouse Schindler. So it'll kind of suck, but evolution is evolution, unfortunately. Okay, Rite Aid. Yes, I want to talk about this before I lose train of thought. Yes, Sears Braintree is still open. It's the last one in the Northeast. Okay, yes, Rite Aid. So Rite Aid is a mess. A lot of vendors didn't get paid for around the Super Bowl. They didn't get supplies. But just very recently, some employees that were receiving severance from closing stores, and you guys got to hear this. Those employees, guess what? They're not getting paid. They're not getting paid. Now, this poor father that wanted to, you know what? I'll just show you guys the article because I think you guys got to see this physically. Trying to figure out what that article's name is. Yeah. Trying to figure this out. Not that one. Da, 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 da. Trying to figure this out. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Okay. Because you guys are going to get an absolute laugh out of this. I think this is like, this shows an example of why Rite Aid will not be around probably by the end of this year, and this company will cease to exist. And mark my words, as you guys are watching this stream right now, if we get it, and they're definitely done. I mean, this is highway robbery. So I don't know if this was a mother or a father, but imagine this situation. Imagine this situation. This is a mother or father getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They check the bank, right? Because people have bank accounts where they store money, and all the money they get paid. Some people get paid weekly, bi-weekly. I don't. That's just how it works. So 6 o'clock in the morning, they check their bank. One employee who was laid off this year obviously didn't want to be identified because the employees signed an NDA agreement. Okay, great. And they asked their son, would you like to go out for breakfast? Just a simple, nice gesture thing between a parent and a son. So with that in mind, the parent is like, we can go get breakfast at school. So they said the payment was now pending. So they couldn't even pending reversal. So when they got the breakfast, they couldn't even barely get the breakfast because the payment that they were expecting from the severance package, when obviously Rite Aid closed their stores, it was pending reversal. So Rite Aid, in this case, was stealing money from the people that were getting, and mind you, these were people that got laid off. These were people that got laid off from the store closing. This was money that they were expecting for a certain number of weeks or periods as they were looking for a job. I mean, could you imagine? Like, how awful is that? Like, it's just, and then there's this. We must now take another difficult action to further preserve cash in the short term. The Rite Aid, the best position, they're definitely not going to emerge as part of the precipitant severance page. Payments on December 1st have been delayed. It remains our intention, given the fluid of the nature situation. So, I mean, this right here, highway robbery. I really hope that someone reads this and they just, I think someone's filing some sort of lawsuit, but disgusting. I mean, this is a parent that's trying to do a nice gesture for their son just to get them food. I mean, and these are people that live paycheck to paycheck. That sucks. That really sucks. I mean, you got to feel bad. And Rite Aid is just, they're just sitting there. It's like, in order to best position. I mean, this company has an opioid lawsuit, and they're closing stores left and right. I think that this company is going to go out because that's not right at all. I mean, come on, pay out the employees severance, let them have a chance to keep receiving money from the company as they go look for another job. I mean, that's awful. That's really sad. And obviously they're not responding to comment because, they know the essence of the situation, and obviously, they take on a lawsuit and then it looks bad and all that stuff. But that's awful. I mean, you can't even get food. Like, really? Like, this parent was trying to do something nice for their son. Ridiculous. But that's all I have to say about Rite Aid. And I do think Rite Aid is 100% done. They are done as a company. They don't have a future. They just, they definitely don't have a future whatsoever. Costco definitely has better quality. I was in Costco yesterday, and they definitely had better quality, and they had definitely a better assortment of products than BJ's. BJ's cut corners with their food court thing and signed an exclusive contract with Dunkin'. So hang on one second, guys. Yeah, so they ended up signing an exclusive. They ended up signing an exclusive contract with Dunkin' to do their food services. But meanwhile, Costco has really good pizzas. As a matter of fact, they just introduced a new cookie that I ended up trying yesterday. It's really good, although I was definitely missing some ice cream for sure. I have to try and go get the deep dish cookie again at some point. No, they're gonna do a Schindler. They're definitely not doing an Otis in there. Definitely not. They're gonna rip out the whole shaft. They're gonna cover the whole shaft up. It's gonna be a new Schindler. They're definitely not putting a Gen 3 in there. No, definitely not. Dick's doesn't have a contract with Otis. They won't do it. That was the Sears thing back in the 80s. Because they're gonna close up the shaft and then they're gonna cut a new hole for the new shaft. So no. To answer your question, a big fat NO. I'm sure they're gonna move out of Monmouth Mall. Yeah, Michael, could you actually email me that list at some point? I think if you go into my channel, go to the contact section and then if you could just DM me that list or email it to me when you get a chance, that'd be great. At least I have a perspective on that. I guess Old Navy's doing okay. Dick's House of Sports. I guess the concept is okay. It's nice that it's going to be going in the Lord and Taylor at Freehold. So, yeah, well, New Jersey is a densely populated state. They wouldn't need to close locations. So, yeah, that's surprising because Woodbury Commons is a very nice mall. But I guess they wanted to, that's very surprising. Oh, yeah, because they saw the bad press from the kid. Yeah, Rite Aid is still definitely done. Yeah, but not getting paid for severance is definitely ridiculous. They have no money. Really? Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Oh, maybe they're moving over into the where the Wegmans is, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I guess they didn't want to renew the lease. So that is that. Yeah, that doesn't surprise. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny. I mean, the whole opioid lawsuit definitely doesn't help Rite Aid, that's for sure. And I apologize if I'm getting into everyone's comment. I got into a whole rant there about Rite Aid. I could rant about Sears, but what am I going to rant on them for? There's no reason for me to sit here and tell you guys about that. So definitely Rite Aid right now. Transform Co. Eddie just keeps throwing the money at Sears. I mean, I mean, my God, you got to really scratch your head for a second and say why. But no, Rite Aid is bleeding through cash, but Transfer and Co. They close a store or two a year. They just keep bleeding through cash, bleeding through cash, bleeding through cash. It's kind of sad actually, because I mean, I know the inevitable is coming. It's just a matter of when at this point. Oh, I'm sure Rite Aid has at least 5 or 6 of them. J.C. Penney is closing tomorrow at in Wayne Town Center. Tomorrow's the last day, and then on Friday, I guess they're gonna try and get a dry run of the new store, and then it's gonna open up Friday. So it's very crowded on weekends, just not during the week. Yeah, I know. Ross is coming much closer to Paramus. I really hope that their move more towards New York City is definitely an opportunity for them to open up a location in hopefully a little bit closer. So Schindler, I don't know. I guess Schindler in this case was the cheapest bidder, but that's gonna be a nice Schindler mod when it's done. That'll be a nice mix. You got the Schindler Mad BS mod at Boscov's. You're gonna have the Macy's mod at what the heck is it? Um yeah, it'll be a Schindler Mad BS, Montgomery. I got the Canton one at Macy's, and then the 338 Dix, and then the mall elevator. Woodbridge is definitely an interesting mall. Very interesting little shopping mall. I mean, big shopping mall, not little. Definitely a big mall for sure. No, they'll stay. Boscov's is very committed to their locations. I don't think they'll still close. Yeah, I didn't care so much for Body Shop, but I appreciate you for letting me know. I don't think Clark is closing any locations. No, the whole Sunrise Mall is going away. They're definitely not doing any more retail there. They're just waiting for Macy's to cut the corners. I don't know about that. No, then we're definitely not getting another 2-level Wegmans. I don't know. They're probably gonna put some more upscale tenants that'll line up with the rest of the mall. So yeah, they wanted Sears out. Yeah, and that whole Route 80 area by Patterson is awful. And I drove through there. What was it, last Thursday? Because I had to go to an event. Yeah, 80 Patterson is not fun. Not fun. Interesting to drive through, but yeah, it's sketchy. Although I will say it's probably better than driving through Patterson because Patterson is sketchy as hell. But I hope so. They really should demolish that building. Oh, okay. I'll take a look at it after the stream. Thank you. I appreciate you for sending me that email. They'll just put the Macy's backstage at some point in Bridgewater. So, camping stores, I guess they're doing okay. The camping stores we have near me are REI. I guess Dick's if you want to count that. And what's another camping store? You know what I've been to in a while, or for 2 years? Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. They're very interesting stores. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad they kicked them out. It's about time they kicked them out. We don't know which 150 locations have been identified. Obviously, they're not going to say anything until May. But if someone leaks the list, somebody's getting terminated if they leak the list. I'm not surprised about Walmart. So, all right, we're probably going to go for another few minutes here. It's just going to take some time. So, oh wow, thank you, Walter Eric. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, that's definitely a fun one. They sell a Macy's and it's not closing. Then it's like what was the point? What was the point of the sale? That is funny. They sell a building and they're not going to close it. Oh, because they have to keep up the lease obligation. Oh yeah, that's fun. Then someone will buy out the lease and they'll close the store. Yeah, and it's okay. No worries. Yeah, they're completely occupied by different tenants. And they both became Primark. It's funny you bring that up. So, wow, there is a lot of people on here. I almost don't want to get off, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to get off soon. I wish there wasn't this daylight savings thing, but it's the way the that's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. So, oh, Joann Fabrics, yeah, they're probably done too. You got Michaels, and then you got Dollar Tree, and you got all these other stores, and you got Amazon. So I think Joann Fabrics is probably going to go under too. But we'll make some sort of video about that when the time comes for them. And I'll probably have a master closing list of all the locations, and so I don't know. Are you talking about those basketball courts that are across the street from Penn Station? I mean, not basketball. I don't know. I hope so. It really sucks. I honestly don't want to get off stream because a lot of you guys are watching, and I definitely would love to stay on here, but um, like I said, yeah, I know. Because now I have to think that the hours are going to go ahead and then I'm going to lose sleep. So if I don't, you know. Oh, yeah. Joanne will probably get an else this week. The Macy's locations are not going to be announced until what is it? For Friday? Oh, foreign retailer. Oh, yeah, that's going to work out. And then the people are going to smash and grab again. So, yeah, but they're not going to close Madison Square Garden. It's just not going to happen. I really think it should, but they're not gonna close it. Definitely not. And it's in such a prime location that they're not gonna close it. So they might close. Haven't heard anything yet about that. Hmm. So yeah, it's awful. Thank you. Appreciate the appreciate it. We might actually stay on the stream a little bit. No, Neiman Marcus isn't closing in San Francisco, but I have a feeling that they're probably going to pull the trigger too at some point. So He's doing really well. I'm actually going to give him a. I'm actually going to probably talk to him after the stream. I guess Mrs. Fields wants to come back. I had Mrs. Fields once or twice. It's not terrible. Just, I've had no reason to go back. No, it's probably going to be the other way around. Sears will still hang on because Eddie will just keep throwing more money. I would almost show dollar bills, but I don't feel like pulling that out right now. I wish there wasn't this daylight savings thing. But probably going to go for a little bit longer here. I don't know. No Sears closures. I don't know if any other stores will close. I didn't realize you guys really like these streams. I really got to do these more often. I can't believe you guys love these streams so much. You guys really ask a lot of good questions. So, yes, they're expected to meet the same fate. Yeah, probably Miami Sears will definitely go next because of the development. Yeah, I know. That's just going to be great. So we're going to get an extra hour of daylight, which is great. 2024, I'd say somewhere in the spring. Yeah, definitely. It's a 3-level Macy's in the middle of nowhere. That's just the that's just the truth. And then after that, I'll probably be the Florida Mall. Unless, there's a tenant that comes in and just straight out buys up Sears. Really? Huh. I guess they're trying to form a partnership with Simon. They're probably trying to expand their partnership. Let's take a look and see what's going on there. Maybe this is a new expansion thing. I mean, it's great for the mall. Let's see. Oh, it looks like they're okay. So they're only gonna get half of it. Probably coming soon though. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. So, Braintree Sears, nothing's been announced yet. Yes. What's the name of that seal? I know which one you're talking about. The one with Strawbridges and Clothier. Yeah. So. All right. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it off here because it looks like some people are starting to drop off for the evening. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll really have to try and do these more often. I didn't realize you guys like these streams so much, so we got to make it a bit of a habit. But I'll answer a few more questions or these last two, and then probably get off the night. Do you know the plans for Stop and Shop on premises? Tiny vacant. They were supposed to do it was supposed to be a new Stop and Shop. It was supposed to put a bunch of restaurants there. I honestly think they're probably going to knock the whole space down. And they're probably going to do some sort of town center there. So they're probably redoing the developments. Crystal Mall, don't know when the last day is. Okay, wow. So then maybe I shouldn't get off because there's still people on here. I really don't want to get off because there's definitely more questions. All right, maybe we'll go for another minute or two. See what we got. Yeah, no more carousels. Yeah, the only carousel now in Paramus is at Vanson County Park. So I guess unless they remove it with something else going in there. But all right. So for real, I think we are gonna I don't know. Probably whenever they go Go there. Yes, Willow Grove is nice. They got a Macy's, a Bloomingdale's, a J.C. Penney, and then a couple of other really nice tenants there. Dangerous. Oh yeah, I've seen that video. The one with the J.C. Penney parking deck. Yeah, he had a grand old time in there. Yes, and now they got another tenant in there. I don't know about Emerald Square Mall. The Square Mall. Yeah, now you can see how tired I am because I'm starting to store words. But anyways, so thank you guys for watching. I really do want to continue, but I just or we'll go for another couple seconds. Couple more seconds, and then Square system will lose sales for plausible dicks take over the entire space. I don't know about that one. We'll see though. No, they're not expanding. Well, actually, no, I can't say they're not. They're doing the next Westfield Garden State Plaza expansion as a town center. They're still trying to get approval from the town, and then they're going to do that whole town center thing. So they're trying to do that. Yeah, it looks like the Dicks of House of Sport that's an aggressive expansion. Very aggressive. They seem to be really trying to get their nameplate out there. But that's good at least. So I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But the expansion in terms of Westfield Garden State, that's going to be a town center. They're doing a third parking deck. And that's really pretty much it in terms of that. But that mall definitely has a parking problem. So for them to get an additional deck, that will most certainly help out the mall. They'll probably have to renovate the Macy's too when they do a parking deck there. They're probably going to get an upper level entrance, I bet, which will be good for the store because then people can enter the store on through the upper level and through the parking deck, which would actually help out the store. 2015. I have not been there in about 9 years, so I could definitely go back there at some point for sure. So yeah, that's one mall I have to do. So. But anyways. All right, so I think we're finally going to drop off the stream because I really do want to get off. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of the night.